question number 3 is going to be heard both in the asking and the answering in silence. Ka harangi kara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Minister for Children. Does she stand by her statement regarding cuts to Oranga Tamariki that, quote, there will be no financial impact and there will be no impact on the frontline services? This is a guarantee, end quote.
The Honourable Chhour.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, in the context in which I said it, which was in relation to the proposed Oranga Tamariki organisational restructure. From the beginning, the safety of children has been at the forefront of all decision-making about the proposed restructure, and frontline managers and staff who report to them have been out of scope of this process. However, I do recognise that this has been an unsettling time for all staff at Oranga Tamariki, frontline or otherwise, and just want to take the opportunity to acknowledge this.
Ka harangi kara.
Supplementary. What does she say to the Chief Executive of Mangere East Family Services, who is forced to lay off a third of their frontline social workers because of these funding cuts, and is concerned that, quote, we won't be able to provide support to as many whānau as we have in the past. Whānau may miss out. Children may fall through the cracks, end quote.
Mr. Speaker, the member is conflating two issues. My statement was in relation to the proposed Oranga Tamariki restructure.
Supplementary. What does she say in response to Nikki Hurst of the New Zealand Council of Christian Social Services, who says, quote, some of the things that will be winding up, there is no comparable service available in that community, end quote. And how, if at all, will Oranga Tamariki be filling the gaps in frontline care and prevention that these contract cuts will create?
Mr. Speaker, I'll say again, the member is conflating two issues. My statement was in relation to the proposed Oranga Tamariki restructure.
Supplementary. Does the Minister stand by the answer made on her behalf yesterday that funding, quote, goes to services that are getting the outcomes that we expect and need, end quote? And if so, why are the many service providers facing cuts getting no justification, evidence or rationale from Oranga Tamariki behind why their funding is being cut?
Mr. Speaker, yes.
Supplementary. Will she apologise for Oranga Tamariki leaving hundreds of frontline care providers in the dark about their contracts and their funding for what social service providers Aotearoa describe as, quote, an unsettling and distressing few months for providers waiting to hear about funding decisions, end quote? And if not, why not?
Mr. Speaker, I'll just continue to say this again. My statement was in relation to the proposed Oranga Tamariki restructure.
Supplementary. Does she acknowledge, as identified in the Aroturiki Tamariki report released today, that shortages in frontline staffing contributed to Oranga Tamariki's failure to protect baby Malachi Schubeck's and continues to be an issue? And if so, how does Oranga Tamariki rationalise these cuts to frontline service provisions?
Mr. Speaker, I'll say it again. The member is conflating two issues. My statement was in relation to the Oranga Tamariki restructure.